Hey guys, so today I'm just going to be changing the reverser oil in my Johndeere 410C. It's not much really hard about it. I just got to go underneath it and remove the drain plug. It's just in the center on the bottom of the reverser. It just takes a 1/2 inch ratchet. And once I get that pulled out, I'll show you how you can just change the oil, change the filter and stuff like that. And I actually got another leak underneath. I think I got an O-ring I need to change. But yeah, let's check it out. So we'll start by just draining the oil. Okay, now that I let most of the fluid drain out, I'm gonna take off the filter cover here for the reverser filter. I measured it, it said it was 1 5/8, so I got my big wrench. Yeah, and I can fit it in here just above the front drive shaft. So I'll push down to see if it will come loose. Oh yeah, it wasn't even very tight. Okay. Now I'm just gonna keep on working it off, and then I'll show you once I pull it out. So I got it hand tight now. So I'll just keep spinning it. I've never had this off before. I don't know how long the threads on the cap are. So we'll see, but I got my bucket below it. Lots of fine threads. Keep spinning. Doesn't feel like there's any pressure. I can wiggle it and nothing's coming out, so I'll just pull it off. Oh, there it comes. I'll let that oil drain out before I pull it all the way. I'm not sure if it holds a bunch of oil up in the top of the reverser or in the torque converter. I'll let that drain for a minute. Okay, so this is the way I pulled it straight out this way. So I can't tell if it is directional or not, because it looks like it's the same on both ends. But yeah, just a metal cartridge style filter. There was an O-ring on the cap here. So we'll see if it comes with a new one in my kit that I bought, a Wix filter. If it doesn't, I'll just clean up that other O-ring, but yeah. Here's my new filter, Wix filter 51597. The old number on it was 551597. And yeah, let's open it up. Okay, so it comes in like plastic. Just the filter, no O-ring. Yeah, I'll have to clean that other O-ring. But yeah, just the filter. So cool. I'll get this out. I'll get the O-ring cleaned up and lubed, and then we'll start putting it back together. So I got my cap all lubed up and cleaned here. I got the grease on the O-ring. And I was wondering if there was a pressure relief in the system, and then I noticed that in the cap here, this back part that slides into the rear of the filter actually has a spring behind it, so you can press on it. So that must be your like high pressure relief. It just prevents cavitation on cold morning starts and everything. But yeah, so if this is worn out, I guess wouldn't be any spring pressure. Maybe your spring can break sometimes, so just check it out while it's off. But now that I'm ready to slide it back up in there, we'll go underneath. I got the filter in the hole just sitting there, and now I'll just push my bucket out of the way. That was simple enough. So I'll screw it in hand tight and then I'll snug it up with the wrench. So there we go. It doesn't have to be super tight. As long as you feel it bottom out, then you know you're good. It's got the O-ring on it, so if you over tighten it, you could probably actually break that thin like aluminum cover. But yeah, that's snugged up, and now we'll put the drain plug back in. Drain plug all cleaned and lubed up. So that's as tight as I can go by hand, so I'll finish off the rest with my ratchet. This thing's just long. Okay, it's snugged, and then I'll pull on it. There we go. So this is all the fluid that I got out of it. Pretty milky. When I first removed the plug, you could see all the frothy fluid. But look at how much is in this pail. See how empty it is? And keep in mind, I already had some stuff in here, some filters, and there's like a little bit of oil in the bottom. I'm pretty sure in the manual it said that this reverser holds like 14 or 11 liters of oil. So I don't really know if that's like 14 or 11 liters. It's hard to say. This is like an 18-liter pail plus what was already in there, so it must have been really low. So basically the main reason, other than just wanting to service the machine because I just bought it and changed the filter and stuff, I had to drain the reverser because I had a hydraulic leak I couldn't find underneath here, and it probably explains why the reverser was so low on oil. But the whole time the machine's running, I noticed there's a dripping non-stop. So I shut it off, I washed all underneath here, and then I started it again, and I couldn't find the spot because everything was all wet. And this is where the reverser meets the front of your transaxle with this little drive shaft, just looking up from the bottom. But I noticed that if I actually watched while the machine's running, the oil was coming out of this yoke. And at first I thought it was this output seal on the reverser. But then I noticed it's actually leaking from where the bolts are that hold this yoke on the back of the reverser. The seal's fine. So I went on the Johndeere website and I found that there's actually an O-ring in behind the plate. There's a couple bolts in here. So I'm gonna remove this shaft, pull the bolts off and pull the yoke off, and try and see if I can change this O-ring in behind here. I got a bar shoved in the yoke here so it won't rotate, and 8mm shallow socket for 1/4-inch drive. And I just slowly pull on it. There we go. Not very tight. So I'll take off all 4 of these U-joint cap straps, and then we'll try and pop this U-joint out of the way. There we go. Here it is pulled off, and all I did, I removed those bolts for the U-joint, and then there is these 2 little bolts that are a 1/2-inch socket on the end, and I removed the 2 bolts, and then out came this piece, the yoke. I didn't take a video of me making the new O-ring, but here's the one that came out of it. And when it was sitting in here, it had kind of play and everything. So I actually made a new O-ring right there. You can see where I spliced it together. And I made it kind of thicker. You'll see it's quite a bit thicker than the old one. And then, because when this one's in here, it just moves around. It's too loose. You can see the gap. So I made the thicker one, and what I'm hoping is that this one fits in there snug, and then it also gets pressed around the shaft, on the output shaft of that reverser. I'm hoping that with a little bit of grease, it will slide into there, and it will actually seal a lot better. If it doesn't, I do have new O-ring material, and I could make the same thickness O-ring as this one, but maybe this one might have just been hot and cold and stuff like that, and then it got hard and isn't elasticy anymore. So maybe it seems like it's good. It's not that bad, but it is kind of flat around the outside. So if this one doesn't work, I'll make another O-ring the same size as this one and see if that helps. I didn't video it again, but I took out that fat O-ring because I tried putting it in, and then I made another O-ring the exact same size as the original one. So now I can try and put this in. I couldn't get that fat one to actually fit in when I slid this on. So here we go again. I'll try and slide this one on, and it should work. I'm hoping that the problem with the old one was that it was just like too stiff and wasn't elasticy, so then it couldn't seal properly. So with this one on here, it should be meant. We'll check this out now. I slid it on, and that's the O-ring up in there, and it did seal all the way around. As long as my it's right in the middle of the screen right now where I super glued it together, as long as that stays together and everything, I think it should be fine. Right on. Here it is, all bolted back up. I tightened everything I got on those bolts for the U-joint caps, all 8 mils snugged up, and then the 1/2-inch headed bolts in here I snugged up. Everything seems good. Hopefully when I fill it back up and run it, it doesn't leak anymore. I'm pretty confident in that repair. Yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. Also a good time if you're under here checking anything, like now would be the time to change the seal if this seal was leaking, and then also check U-joints here and the U-joints on the back in here. Pretty simple. You just wiggle it and see if there's lots of play in them. You'll be able to tell right away if it's good or bad. But these ones seem good. Spicer U-joint, right there, Spicer. And I don't see any grease fittings on them. I don't know if they're original or if they've been changed. But yeah, everything seemed good. Here we are on the passenger side of the machine. There's just a cover that you move, and then you can access both the transaxle dipstick and then the dipstick for the reverser. I couldn't find anywhere in my operator's manual where it says to check the level if it's running or if it's shut off. So I'm just gonna fill it till the full line when it's shut off. Right there. So I'm gonna fill it to the top there, run it, shut it off, check it again, and then I'll just leave it full when it's shut off. They recommend high guard as pretty much every fluid in this machine except for the front diff. They want 75/90. But I got some of this CAT transmission and drivetrain oil. It's 30 weight. And I'd imagine that if it's good enough for a brand new Caterpillar transmission, it should be good enough for this John Deere. So I'll add a few quarts of that, and then I'll just keep checking the stick as I'm topping it up. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Thanks for watching. Yeah, it was just a Johndeere 410C, and you can see the serial numbers right there. And it took about 3/4 of a pail of fluid to refill it. I ran it, got it hot, and I decided to check it while it's running, because it seemed like it was about 1.5 inches above the stick when it was shut off, and then when you started it, it came down to the proper level. To me, that makes sense. It's like an automotive, like a truck or something. It's got the torque converter, so you want it to be running so you know the torque's full. But yeah, that's what I did. I ran it, got it hot, checked the level, and it was perfect, just at the very top of those hatch marks. So that's my recommendation, is to check it while it's running. And overall, no leaks underneath on my little O-ring mod. I'm happy with that. So I'd say a good day.